EverettMRogers, Diffusion of Innovations. Embark on an insightful journey into the world of innovation adoption with the book Diffusion of Innovations by Everett M. Rogers. Delve deep into the 5 stages that influence our decision-making process: knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation, and confirmation. Understand how factors like relative advantage, compatibility, and trialability determine an innovation's success, and learn about the critical role of change agents in driving adoption. This summary will guide you through the intricacies of the adoption process, shedding light on the factors that stimulate or hinder innovation diffusion in various contexts.
Unraveling decision-making patterns. Our decision-making process typically comprises 5 stages, beginning with the knowledge stage. Here, we either actively seek an innovation to fulfill a specific need or learn about it passively through different channels. Needs stem from dissatisfaction when our desires aren't met by available resources, compelling us to search for a solution. On the other hand, some people become aware of an innovation not due to an initial need but through exposure via various communication methods, such as word of mouth or media coverage. Picture this: you're deciding whether to use a new product or service. Although it might not be apparent, your decision-making follows a specific pattern, starting with the knowledge stage. This is when we first become aware of a new technology or innovation. The burning question is, what triggers entry into this stage? The answer lies in 2 distinct possibilities: we're either seeking a solution to meet a specific need, or we simply stumble upon the innovation. A need arises when our desires surpass available resources, resulting in frustration or dissatisfaction. This drives us to find a solution, usually by asking around or researching. For instance, a farmer dealing with crop-destroying pests will proactively search for a pesticide to solve the problem. Alternatively, some people enter the knowledge stage not due to an explicit need, but because they've become aware of the innovation's existence through various channels. New products and services are often communicated through means that don't specifically target you. However, you may discover that information through word of mouth, such as a friend mentioning a new device they think you'd be interested in. Take the example of Apple's latest iPhone release, announced at a developer conference. Technology magazines will undoubtedly cover the event and detail the new features. One of your tech-savvy friends reads a magazine article and, knowing your affinity for gadgets, shares the information with you. Thus, you become aware of the new iPhone, all without actively seeking it out. Navigating the persuasion stage. Upon learning about a new product, individuals enter the persuasion stage where they form favorable or unfavorable opinions. During this stage, people assess a product based on their feelings, thoughts, and available information. However, they often selectively seek out information that reinforces their biases. To navigate these uncertainties, it's essential to weigh factors such as cost, user-friendliness, and potential approval from peers. Some innovations, however, don't need a positive attitude to be adopted, such as cigarettes, demonstrating that the persuasion stage does not always follow a predictable pattern. You've just discovered a new product, and your mind begins to form an opinion. You either like it or you don't. Welcome to the persuasion stage. During this stage, you start researching the product and seek out credible information. However, we often have a tendency to focus on information that aligns with our initial feelings, sometimes ignoring anything that challenges our views. Take, for example, a product that you think is trendy. Subconsciously, you might dismiss a review discussing the product's unreliability while favoring sources that reaffirm your perception. Now comes the balancing act. You have to reconcile your feelings toward the product with factors such as price, complexity, and operation. These objective aspects can sway your initial opinion, helping you form a more informed decision. When uncertainty arises, you instinctively try to anticipate the product's future evolution. Imagine buying a state-of-the-art camera. Early on, it's difficult to know if others will use it, or if you're using it correctly. You cope by envisioning your future use, along with considering its cost, ease of use, and how your friends might react. After thorough research and contemplation, if you still have a positive attitude toward the product, you're likely to start using it. However, it's important to note that some innovations become a part of our lives without requiring a positive attitude. For instance, many smokers have negative opinions about cigarettes, yet they continue smoking. This shows that the persuasion stage can take unexpected turns on the path toward innovation adoption. Adopting or rejecting innovations. When deciding to adopt or reject an innovation, there are three key factors to consider: the ability to test run the product, the type of rejection, and cultural norms. If a product can be tried before purchase and demonstrates superiority in function, adoption is more likely. Rejections can be active, when someone intentionally declines to adopt an innovation, or passive, when someone doesn't consider it or forgets about it. Cultural norms also impact adoption, as individuals from collectivist societies are more likely to adopt if others in their community have already embraced the innovation. Mastering innovation implementation. During the implementation stage, individuals must actively change their behavior to accommodate the innovation's proper usage. This can include not only obtaining and learning how to use the product, but also identifying potential challenges or unanticipated benefits. Interestingly, some adopters often reinvent the product or service by discovering unconventional uses or modifying its functionality. A prime example of this is LEGO Mindstorms, where its dedicated fanbase expanded the product's lifespan through constant adaptation, prompting LEGO to embrace this creativity by providing software development kits. Embracing users' ingenuity can further enhance the innovation's impact and longevity. Navigating the confirmation stage. We've all faced uncertainty after adopting an innovation, entering the confirmation stage where we experience internal dissonance. This state of mind can lead to seeking confirmation and reinforcement of our decision while filtering out contradicting information. Sometimes, we might even reverse our decision and abandon the innovation. This can happen when the innovation is replaced, underperforms, or when adopters face increasing scrutiny, as seen in the case of smoking. Uncertainty often accompanies the adoption of an innovation, as we try to confirm whether the decision we made was right or not. This phase, known as the confirmation stage, is characterized by an internal conflict that arises before and after adopting a new product or service. This unease stems from dissatisfaction and can push adopters to seek reassurance that they made the right choice. For example, early Microsoft Windows users experienced dissonance when Apple introduced its user-friendly operating system. After making a switch to Mac, the early adopters sought to maintain a positive outlook by emphasizing the growing popularity and support for Apple's product. During the confirmation stage, adopters often try to ignore or suppress any negative or contradictory information, a phenomenon called selective exposure. They focus on facts, figures, and praise that confirm their decision, thereby alleviating any internal dissonance. However, it is not uncommon for adopters to eventually reverse their decision and discontinue using the innovation. Drawbacks such as disappointing performance, difficulties in implementation, or the emergence of a superior alternative can drive this change of heart. Consider smoking, once a widely accepted lifestyle choice. As research unraveled the severe health risks associated with tobacco, smoking became increasingly discouraged. Government and nonprofit organizations spread awareness, imposed restrictions, and taxed cigarettes, leading to a drastic decline in smoking rates. This illustrates how the confirmation stage can influence the continued adoption or abandonment of an innovation by shaping our perception, satisfaction, and response to potential setbacks. Innovative minds, early adopters. Some individuals are quicker to adopt new innovations than others. This can be attributed to their innate inclination towards innovation or their access to resources and knowledge that help them make informed decisions. These individuals, known as innovators, make up only a small percentage of the adopter population, with the remaining adopters categorized as early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. Innovators drive change by taking calculated risks in embracing new ideas, understanding their complexities, and dealing with the uncertainties surrounding their adoption. When a fresh innovation emerges, there's always a group of people who immediately latch onto it. These individuals, innovators, account for merely 2.5% of adopters and have an insatiable appetite for new ideas. John, a passionate watch enthusiast, is a prime example. He's consistently tuned into the latest developments in watchmaking and knows which new releases are the best on the market. However, innovators are just one piece of the puzzle. The adoption timeline consists of early adopters, 13.5%, the early majority, 34%, the late majority, 34%, and laggards, 16%. For instance, seniors are frequently laggards when it comes to smartphones, settling on purchasing and using such devices much later than the majority. What puts innovators at the forefront of change? Access to resources and extensive knowledge about new concepts play a key role. These individuals possess the financial means to mitigate potential losses stemming from previous adoptions and can comprehend and apply complex technical information. Moreover, they're willing to embrace uncertainty regarding an innovation's future. Take early mobile phone adopters in the 1980s, they had to invest significant sums, grasp the tech's intricacies, and weather the doubt of whether the devices would eventually catch on with the masses. In a nutshell, innovators courageously drive progress by taking risks, remaining informed about innovations, and boldly facing the unknown. Mastering the art of innovation. Innovations succeed when they offer a clear relative advantage and exhibit compatibility with existing values and needs of users. The relative advantage, whether economic or social, is a decisive factor when determining the success or failure of an innovation. Similarly, innovations that are compatible with users' values, beliefs, or needs tend to be widely adopted, while those that conflict with established norms or traditions struggle to gain traction. Innovations thrive when they are perceived as superior to existing alternatives, regardless of the nature of their advantage. The gap between the original product's attributes and the superior qualities of the new innovation is the key to adoption. For instance, Iowa corn farmers experienced higher yields and increased profits using new seeds, making it an obvious economic advantage. Conversely, those who purchase fashionable clothes do so for social prestige, which the items confer upon wearers. Likewise, compatibility plays a critical role in determining an innovation's adoption. Successful innovations align with potential users' values, beliefs, ideas, and needs. A prime example is Facebook, the ubiquitous social networking site. Facebook meets the desire for people to stay connected with friends and acquaintances, ensuring high compatibility with users' needs and leading to its widespread adoption. However, innovations that clash with established traditions and beliefs risk facing rejection. A campaign to encourage Peruvian villagers to boil their drinking water was unsuccessful due to local customs associating hot foods and drinks with illness. The notion of hot water correlating with good health was incompatible with the villagers' beliefs, causing the initiative to ultimately fail. In conclusion, the key to successful innovation lies in offering a clear relative advantage and aligning with users' existing values and needs. By understanding and meeting these criteria, an innovation can significantly increase its chances of widespread adoption and long-term success. Trialability, innovation adoption's key. Trialability, the ability to test a product before purchasing, plays a significant role in the speed at which innovations are adopted. Those who adopt innovations early on often rely on trialability to gain confidence in their decision, as they lack previous user experiences to reference. However, as mass adoption occurs, new users can turn to others' recommendations and reviews, reducing the importance of personal trial for them. Understanding the impact of trialability on adoption rates can help creators develop strategies that cater to both early and later adopters, ultimately increasing the chances of their innovation success. Innovations that offer hands-on experience before purchase tend to propagate more rapidly. Eliminating uncertainty through testing helps potential users gain confidence in an innovation. While some products, like cars, can be test-driven, others, such as choosing an airline, cannot be sampled beforehand. Thus, trialability holds more significance for early adopters who have no examples to follow. As an example, early smartphone adopters required hands-on trials before purchasing. With the prevalence of smartphones today, new buyers don't need extensive trials and can rely on recommendations. Therefore, trialability's importance varies throughout the adoption process, reflecting users' reliance on the experiences and feedback of others. By understanding and harnessing trialability's power, innovators can effectively strategize their product launches and drive adoption rates. Boosting innovation adoption. To accelerate the adoption of your innovation, make sure it's easily observable and communicable. People tend to more readily adopt ideas that can be seen and explained, such as the functionality of Facebook. When showcasing your innovation, focus on its tangible aspects to help others grasp its purpose and intended use. However, be aware that innovations with more emphasis on less observable elements, like software, may experience slower adoption rates. Strive to present your ideas clearly and highlight their observable aspects to increase their chances of widespread acceptance. When introducing an innovative product or idea, the key to success lies in making it easily observable and communicable. People tend to adopt ideas readily when they can witness and understand their functions, leading to higher engagement and acceptance levels. Success stories like Facebook can be attributed to the ease with which users can see and communicate the platform's activity. On the other hand, innovations with unobservable elements or those that are difficult to explain, such as religious salvation or purely software-driven tools, often face slower adoption. In such cases, it is essential to make the concept more tangible by emphasizing the hardware aspect, or the physical and observable components. For instance, safe sex campaigns might have been more successful if they were backed by clear demonstrations of their hardware-related elements, making the idea of safe sex more comprehensible. By ensuring your innovation is both easily observable and communicable, you can effectively boost its adoption and ultimately, its success. Embracing change agents. The adoption of innovations relies heavily on the influence of change agents, individuals with strong ties to the communities they serve. By building rapport and focusing on potential adopters' needs, change agents can identify solutions to existing problems and effectively change behaviors. Empathetic change agents tend to be more feedback-oriented and enjoy higher credibility, ultimately increasing the chances of an innovation being embraced. In the realm of embracing new ideas and evolving practices, people inherently adopt innovations at their own pace and in their unique way. However, one pivotal factor that plays a significant role in the adoption of an innovation is the influence of change agents. These individuals hold roles such as teachers, consultants, and public health workers, among others, and are responsible for making potential adopters aware of the need for change while simultaneously building rapport with them. Change agents possess strong ties and effective communication channels within the social systems that will adopt an innovation. They have the ability to identify new solutions to prevailing problems and, in doing so, alter behaviors. By communicating the importance of an issue, a change agent can convince individuals or even entire groups that they are capable of overcoming their challenges. Take Jen, a public health worker in Kenya, for instance. Through her earnest efforts to raise awareness about cervical cancer and the need for vaccinations among local teachers, government officials, and parents, an increasing number of girls have been vaccinated, all thanks to her connections within the community and her status as a change agent. To be optimally effective, change agents should be empathetic, always acting in the best interests of their clients, and prioritizing the needs of their clients over the demands of their employer, referred to as the change agency. Empathetic change agents who are feedback-focused and actively build a rapport with individuals often have higher credibility, making them more successful in influencing the adoption of innovations. As an illustration, a salesperson promoting a new fertilizer is more likely to succeed if they concentrate on addressing an existing problem faced by a potential client, rather than solely focusing on selling the product. By being attuned to the client's needs, empathetic change agents succeed in fostering lasting and impactful change.
Having explored the fascinating world of diffusion of innovations, we now understand the crucial stages in the adoption process and the factors that determine an innovation's success. From seeking information to handling uncertainties, we've learned that compatibility with our values and the ability to try a product before purchase play pivotal roles. We've also discovered the significance of change agents in driving innovation adoption, and the importance of demonstrating a product's relative advantage. With this newfound understanding, we can make more informed decisions and appreciate the complexities that govern the acceptance and diffusion of innovative products and ideas in our ever-evolving world.